Welcome back, Iron Investors, to another epic episode, ICN Talks, the podcast where we aim to interview C-level executives, founders, real builders in our industry, in the blockchain industry, the crypto investments. I want to discover here and bring here at the table successful investors, visionary founders that wants to build something for real in this industry, to discover the key moments in their journey, what decision they took, and what brought them here. So for this, we need to have experienced investors, people who've seen everything, right? And for this reason, today I invited Gustavo Montero. Thank you very much for coming to ICN Talks, founder of Carter Capital. I'm super grateful you are here, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Danny, for the opportunity to be here and to discuss all the subjects which I'm sure everybody wants to know about. So happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much. It's just all the time is a friendly talk and open. I want to discover first who is Gustavo Montero behind this powerful character. I've attended your awesome events, some of them recently at Palace Downtown, and I can say that is totally different story what's happening in there in terms of audience, ambassadors, and it's just the next level of event. So tell me a little bit about
Me.
your personality behind the scenes and what brought you in the blockchain actually.
What do you want to start on me as a person or
Yeah,
or
you
what the
just
blockchain?
as a person a little bit,
Let's
and
say
then
that
just to give
Gustavo Montero. I'm Swiss and Chilean. Lived most of my life in Switzerland, and I'm an engineer by training. Did my normal MBA finance studies in the US, and I did something a bit odd, which not too many people did at the time. I did a master's in oceanography when I was doing my MBA, at the end of my MBA.
and did something particular.
So at the time, a few years ago, a number of years ago, it was worthless to have an engineering degree and an MBA in finance and a master's in oceanography. If I was coming to the market today, everybody will hire me. 30 years ago, it wasn't the case. But I was crazy about the ocean and about the issues concerning sustainability and all that many years ago. So I got into that. So I have a very international journey. I've been working globally for the last 40 years into different countries, continents, etc. And the second part, the blockchain.
Yes. Tell me about the fund, the Carter Capital. What's the signature behind? What makes you different?
We are, first of all, it's not a fund, it's a managed accounts operation. So Carter Capital is an asset manager managing wallets for third parties. It's a non-custodial operation, so clients keep their wallets all the time. We manage them, those funds inside their own wallets, and we deliver monthly profits. That's the main part of Carter Capital. The second part of Carter Capital is that we actually finance and carry out projects of real assets tokenization. Those are the two essential areas of Carter Capital. We also have an OTC operation, mostly because our clients need OTC transactions, but it's not really our bread and butter. We do them when our clients need that, and it's not a problem. But I would say asset management on the crypto space, I call it the digital assets space,
Yes.
and tokenization of real asset projects, which I'd be happy to expand into it afterwards. But you asked me before, how did I get into blockchain?
Yes. Why did you choose this industry? What do you see so
First
special here?
First of all, blockchain has been around for a long time. As an engineer, I knew about this for many, many years ago because blockchain was invented in 1991. This is two researchers in the US that were working on time stamps, if you will, one document after the next with a time schedule and a timestamp into it. These are digital documents. And in doing that, they invented the ledger because they needed that time frame. So it's been around for many, many years. I got into the blockchain space over 10 years ago, simply because I was working in Switzerland and I was asked to digitalize a few traditional companies, mostly on the financial side. And that led me naturally into the blockchain, crypto space, etc. So got into that a little bit before I moved into Switzerland.
Did you landed in the industry as a individual investor, like you bought some, I don't know, by that time 10 years ago, maybe just Bitcoin, Ethereum, or not
Yeah.
even Ethereum?
Yes, yes.
Like,
Of course, I
or
land-
you just matter straight away in
no,
the
I
investments,
like anybody else, I had interaction with
your
very
individual journey,
inexpensive,
yeah.
inexpensive coins at the moment time. That now they're a lot more expensive. But in reality, my journey was as an engineer involved in the financial environment. I had the opportunity to open a bank in Switzerland many years ago, and then I was in the board of directors of another bank, which I'm not giving the names because the names are irrelevant. But they're top tier banks, both of them, and they both needed.
We can mention here any name. We are not restricted
They
by
both needed digitalization, put it that way. This is at the very beginning of it.
Yeah.
And so I helped them to get into the digital space. And that obviously brought immediately the question of blockchain technologies and digital assets and cryptocurrencies, etc. So my entry into the world was from a professional need for my clients or the people I was working with, and also from buying very early assets, which at the time nobody cared about, and now everybody's crazy about them.
And which one performed better?
The one that performed better for everybody is Bitcoin, because for the people who have been for a long term into it, we all know that's where the real deal has been for a long time.
Yes.
But the other ones as well in the market, and we're talking about the main sort of 10 to 15 currencies that we all know about it. They've all performed quite well over the years. I mean, if you take Carter Capital has existed since 2017, first in England, and then it was moved to here to the UAE, although the company changed names in between, but it was the same people, etc. They've been doing very well in the double digits of performance since they started. So I would say, if you stay safe on the main currencies that have a reason to exist, you're doing well.
Awesome. So I want to go in this journey with investments, because obviously you have huge experience there. And one of my questions for my iron investors, how I like to all my guests here, is pre or any investment. You have a bunch of projects, right? Like, what makes you to put money in one and reject others? Like, what the key element that, okay, if you see that I like it and I like to explore more and actually be part of it, what makes you to decide yes?
Very broad question.
It is a little bit, but I'm just
let's
going,
try to focus it. I'm an engineer by training, so I try to be Cartesian and be specific in what I provide as information. First, on the coin side, all right, on that area, the investments we do in Carter Capital, they're all based on, I would call it real coins, representing a real reason to exist and a reasonable background on the creators and on the actual technology behind. So those are some of the criteria that we look into it. Again, the main coins, the Bitcoins and the other altcoins that exist, or some other of the main actually blockchains, are the ones that we will certainly be investing in. Then you have the various companies that use some of these coins to create projects, all right? The Ethereums of this world, I mean, I think it's over 80% of the world of crypto projects, if you will, are based on Ethereum, or more than that. I don't know. I need to.
Yeah, they have
right.
Huge
so those are companies that are using this vehicle, call it a chain, a coin, whatever you want to call it. They're using this vehicle to build these projects on top. All right, it's like a platform, more or less, to build a project. There, we use criteria that are very similar to the ones that are used when I was in banking or in private equity in the past as a traditional investor, such as is there a market for that project, which is obviously a coin, no? But is there a
The
real
demand.
Is there a market there, right?
Yeah.
Many of the projects that failed because they had this incredible idea, having coffee somewhere, and let's do this. But they never thought, well, is there someone that will buy it, all right? Simple. Is there a market for that specific project? Then the project in itself, the way it's built, is it built correct? Does it has all the areas that you will need in a normal project? The financials, the marketing, the sales, the accounting, etc., etc. Then another essential criteria is the people involved. And I always say this in any conference I give: if you don't have in the board of directors of that company creating some sort of a digital project space on some coin or on some blockchain, if there is no financial experience at the board level, I don't invest into it. And I go a bit further. I always tell them, if you don't have bankers and maybe accountants in your board, I'm not going to go into it, because basically this is a set of people with a great idea, but they have no idea how to manage in terms of executing it. And that execution has a huge financial component, all right? So these are some of the criteria that we use for investments. The other is that I believe that I've said this for a long time, but now that you have the BlackRocks and the Fidelities of this world investing in financial instruments related to cryptocurrencies, that you need the right professional experience to do it, right? Some people ask me, shall I invest in cryptocurrencies? And I say, don't invest 1 cent. I say, what do you mean? You are in that business. I said, yes, only invest if you're advised by the right company. Carter Capital, we're advisors. We advise our clients into what to do with their portfolios, for instance. But it's not only Carter Capital. There are other very good companies there. Not too many. I can count around, in the world, around 20 that Carter Capital is part of them, that will be professional approach to investing. The approach to investing is very similar in the traditional world as in the new financial world. And you need that systematic way into it. So don't go on your own, say, here I have $1 million, I don't know what to do with it, I'll put it in a coin. Don't do it. You may lose everything. You have no idea. If you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. So I said, go to see professionals, people that have the right track record. You see, in my company, the owners, I'm one of them, we're all ex-bankers with very substantial financial experience. We just published the results a week ago for last year. We did 120% for our clients. That was the official result of last year. Now, we didn't do any magical things there. We actually stay within the main assets. It's just that we manage them in a certain way, different weights, different type of level of investments at different points in time in the year, but we know what we're doing. So it's very rare that we will go wrong. But if someone doesn't know what it's doing, what he or she is doing, don't do it. Go and seek professional advice and then do it.
It was this strategy based on the momentum of the market, because we've been during very tough bear market, and you decided to be more conservative, or like is a general strategy?
No.
I mean, are you going to attack some
Danny, no.
more risky?
Let me take you there, take you out of that.
Let's go straight to
we
this
are
strategy.
a conservative firm.
Okay.
We don't invest in crazy stuff.
Okay.
All right? You can bring me the most crazy idea or project and whatever, and most likely I will not invest into it, or my firm will not invest to it, unless you prove me beyond reasonable doubt, as I say in the court cases, that this is a reasonable investment. All right? So we are ultra conservative. As a matter of fact, we're only looking for an alpha of 100% per year, which, okay, for traditional investments, is a lot of money. It's huge, huge return. Yeah. Remember when I was a banker, my clients used to come to me and say, how much would you give me for the year? I say, well, I'll try to give you 4%, 5%. Exactly, that was a lot.
5%, right? You open champagnes like
and
crazy.
5% I'm taking lots of risk.
Yeah.
So in the digital assets industry, of course, you can have yields of hundreds of percentages or thousands if you are at the right time, the right moment, and you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
We are not at Carter Capital. We're not looking for any of that. We're looking for an alpha of 100%, and that's it. We think that that's very reasonable.
Yeah, I got you. In terms of analyzing the team and founders, because you put a lot of weight, right, behind this
Yeah.
human touch for the project. When you have these conversations with the founders, um, what kind of filters do you apply to see if they have that kind of particularity to be able to execute the entire idea what they
In
want?
terms of founders, only bankers, ex-bankers. So very strong,
Experts in their field.
very
That's it.
strong financial experience. Remember that when we talk about digital assets, we're talking about a financial asset. So all financial parameters will apply. Of course, some will say there's many other parameters that will apply, yes, but the financials are the ones that are, and the market, of course, as I said before.
Yeah.
So the founders we're two founders, myself and my partner. We're both bankers with a substantial experience in the digital field. Both of us have. My partner was a trader in London, doing very well, with a fantastic track record, and I was involved in digital transformation for a number of years before we did this. And I was an ex-banker, so that type of combination is necessary to be in the board as founders of the company. But then you have the other people that work with us. They all have substantial experience. We don't take people without experience because we're managing third-party funds. Although there is their own wallets, and we're non-custodial.
It's a sort of responsibility.
Huge responsibilities, fiduciary responsibilities. So we try to do things right, all right? Not always the case. We're not magicians. Sometimes this asset didn't perform as we thought it was going to, but globally on the actual portfolio, the portfolio will be performing right. We focus on 12-month cycles, all right? So when an investor comes to us, clearly we have a conversation with the investor. We see what the risk appetite of the investor is, because some of them will go a little bit more
different
risk
profiles,
and we will
different dreams.
We'll fine tune it. But most of the people that come to us are conservative like us, right? So they have material amounts of funds that they want to invest, and we invest them to them in a conservative way, looking for a 100% alpha as maximum. That's it. Yeah, I'm not interested in anything. So I will not risk my own money or the money of our investor.
Yes, indeed. What about these skills where the founders have to be in position to communicate in such a way? I mean, okay, you have green lines from knowledge perspective, right? They are experts in their field.
Yeah.
But you see, you do the meetings and the guy shows up, lays down on the sofa, eating a pizza while talking to you. Yeah, Gustavo, of course, we will do 1, 2, 3. Like, are you going to filter this, or is just okay? Is his personality? I'm taking him as it is. It's a matter of knowledge only.
I totally filter it. Remember, perception is reality, right? Keep that. If you learn one thing from this conversation, learn that perception is reality. So my co-founder and myself are people that will be always well-dressed for any meetings we have, well-prepared, with really strong background into what we're saying. We're not going to just sit in a sofa back there like that. You're saying, sure, invest in us, we're great. No. We are professionals, because most of the investors we have in front of us are high net worth individuals, ultra high net worth individuals, family offices, financial institutions that want to see a professional on the other side, all right? Whether the deal is done or not, super professional. And it's the same thing for anybody that works with our firm. A professional person, preparation, and look, right?
I just want to give to people who are watching right now the episode, to give them context, right? Like why I'm asking you all these questions. Because as an investor, you have 100 ropes in your hands. You need to be aware about a lot of details that's going to happen, and you need to project some challenges. Like, okay, if this situation, it might happen or not, but if happens, like, is this board responsible? Is this board capable enough to execute and pass those challenges? How they are going to solve it, right? This is the knowledge part, but again, this is okay, maybe just maybe 50% or maybe more, depends the weight you put behind, but also the human part, because some investors, they just intentionally bring these founders in a very comfort zone, in a relaxed zone, because they want to see who is that founder behind the founder position. Because at the end, we are all humans, right? We need to have those kind of interactions. If I don't have a kind of vibe with you, if I don't like your personality somehow, like those things matters a lot. So that's why my question, it was, if you pay attention to these details, or it's just a matter of green line from the knowledge, expertise, and we are done. But
Yeah,
looks like you are paying attention to a lot more details.
Yeah. What you're asking basically
makes sense,
is two things. You're asking, how do we manage the investments and the positions we have from a professional technical side, and how do we manage the human interaction into it?
Exactly.
Which someone calls market sentiment, which is pure human interaction.
I mean, in a concrete way, question, what would you do in a scenario when you see that the founder changed his mind after a year? Like, okay, now my exit is different, I want to exit next year, and
you talk about the client or the founder?
The founder of your investments, right?
Right,
when you analyze the project.
Right. Okay, very good question. All right, so we are tracking weekly, sometimes daily, all the investments we have, right? We're very much on top of the investments we have, and we have a team of people that are doing exactly and only that. So we're very knowledgeable about what's happening inside the investments we have, whatever assets we've taken on board, and that is our, again, as we said before, our fiduciary responsibility to ourselves. We're invested in our own firms, our own monies are in the firm, but also the monies of our clients that have their own wallets that we advise. Remember, we're non-custodial. We don't take anybody's money into our
everything
accounts.
in their wallet.
Is in their own wallet, right? So, which makes me sleep very happy and very quiet at night, because I have nobody's money. I only manage their assets. It's called in the old world was called the managed accounts. Right? That was a technical
traditional
expression, but it's the same thing. It's just we're managing digital assets. So yes, we're following the investment, the performance, and the founders, and at times even their staff. All right. So if we see radical changes, unexplained radical changes, or movements that do not represent what we think is going to be in the best interest of our investors, we may just pull out of the investment completely, very quickly. And as you know, because we're in the digital world, sometimes it's just a click, right? Out. So because of that, then the founders and the people from the assets we're managing, they represent a company or a token or coin, whatever. They're very much in contact with us because they want to make sure that we know what's going on, right? We want to know what's going on in every investment we make, both on the coin side, put it that way, but also on the project side, right? So on the two projects that we have right now, which is we're tokenizing a gold mine in Chile, which will be out in the market probably in 9 to 12 months. And the other one that we're doing is we are tokenizing land and trees in the Amazonian basin, in the border between Colombia, Brazil, and Peru. On those both projects, which, by the way, the Amazonian trees is also carbon credits with the canopy of the trees. But on those two projects, we initiated them. We have people working on those projects, and we follow that very closely. As a matter of fact, daily.
That's a very strict process.
Yeah.
But tell me more about the Amazon project, because I heard about it at your event. It's just unbelievable.
Perhaps I can tell you the way it started. This is a fun way the way it started. One of my very best friends from Geneva. I remember I spent 35 years in Switzerland before coming to Dubai. One of my best friends in Geneva he used to run a very large tourism company. He was specialized on wild tourism or special tourism. So we'll take people skiing on the slopes of the Ecuadorian volcanoes, things that not too many people do. And this friend, whom I've known for many years, I'm a skier. I've been a ski guide for the blind in Switzerland for 20 years now. So very good buddy of mine from skiing years called me about less than a year ago and said, I have left Switzerland and I now live in the Amazonian jungle. And I said, what? He says, yes. I'm no longer in Geneva and I have created an eco lodge, all right? And he said to me, would you like to come and visit me? And I said, how do you get there? And he said, at the time I was in Chile, by the way, I was dealing with my gold mine. And he said, well, very easy, you just take 4 different planes and then you ride the Amazonian river for 3.5 hours and you get here. So it's very easy to get there. So, yeah, sure. So I did that. Actually, it was 3 planes, right? So in total, until you get to the very last airport this is already in the jungle, all right? Is far away from Manaus, which people think about the city in the jungle, but this is far away already by plane. You get there, you cross to the Colombian border by foot because the 2 cities, Leticia and Tabatinga, are together, are joined, and then you get on this small, tiny boat for 3.5 hours on the Amazonian River, and then eventually you get to this eco lodge. Which
how does the life look like there in that environment?
The river?
Yeah, like I mean on daily basis.
It's wild.
Like
it's totally wild. It's totally wild. There's nobody there, right? So it's just yourself, the piranhas, the local populations, and a chap that is actually riding the boat for you. Very nice, very beautiful actually. And you get to this place. He built this small, beautiful eco lodges for 6 people each. They were designed by a friend of ours, an architect in Geneva. Really nice places, integrated into a jungle. So I sit there and my friend tells me, I am building these lodges as a way of protecting the local populations. I want to buy the land and give them the possibility of living there the way they live forever. Nobody will chop off the trees, etc., etc. And he says, I need funds to do this. So he said to me, you're a guy in finance, Gustavo, and you can do this. So he said, can you give me an idea? I said, why don't we NFT the trees, the land, and the top of the trees, we'll use this as carbon credits. That is a project today called Verde Whisper.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, you came directly with great utility, plugging the blockchain technology, right?
Yeah, it's a great project, yeah.
And what's the stage right now? Like what I know
I received last week.
You raised already some funds for it.
Yeah, we have already some funds, but I received the deck, the new deck actually. And we are raising right now around $5 million to get this whole thing going, to buy. We already have a couple of parcels purchased of land, to buy a few more, start NFTing the trees, and then providing the basics for using the canopy of those trees as carbon credits that will be purchased mostly by airlines and companies that need to offset their carbon emissions. So we're there. Yeah, we're raising money. If anybody's interested in this project, let us know. I mean, I guess the information is going to be there. Yeah.
Is sustainability something that is to represent your focus in the next stage of investment?
Complete. My focus right now is to join digital technologies, mostly the blockchain, but not only. There are other ones, together with the sustainable environment. Remember, I did a degree in oceanography as one of my crazy things in the past. But perhaps you don't know this, but I was one of the directors of the first COP, which was called the Rio Summit 30 years ago. This is one of the reasons why I was so involved in the COP28 just a few weeks ago. So I strongly believe that by using blockchain technologies and other modern technologies, we can have an impact into trying to solve some of the ecological and other environmental problems we have. I strongly believe in that. So
Crucial ones.
I'm trying to join these two elements, technology, high-level technology, digital technology, and the environmental problems as a way to solve them. So I'm totally focused on that.
Yeah, it is sustainability definitely is something that is not easy to build there because a lot of challenges, but amazing one. I mean, like the market is and it's still like brand new there, right? Like you kind
This
of
is pioneering.
pioneers.
This is totally pioneering. And to be honest, we are creating new tools as we're going through, right?
A lot of innovations.
Yeah. This is purely innovation. That is right there. We are in a totally uncharted territory, which for me as an engineer is fascinating because this is totally new. Can we find that tool, that technology tool that will solve the environmental problem? I'm not crazy or totally overambitious to say we will find it, but if we find something that can mitigate the problems we have, I'm already happy with that. I can go to sleep saying we did something that is solving part of the problem.
As I'm listening to you right now, I can understand that it's a lot of personal fulfillment behind these achievements in terms of sustainability. Is something that drives you to build here, to have impact in this industry, particularly, like from your internal journeys or something?
Well, as I said, beyond my MBA in finance and my engineering degree, I did a master's in oceanography. So I was wired into that sense from the very, very beginning. But then I was one of the directors of the Brundtland Commission, or called the World Commission on Environmental Development. That some people know it as the Rio Summit. That's the colloquial name of it because it was done in Rio. So very, very early in my life, I started with impact investment. The impact investment has been parallel to my financial life, put it that way, right? So yes, it's very personal. As I've seen this world being destroyed by all of us, me included, for the last 30 years, which is when we did, over 30 years, when we did this very first global economics and environmental summit. So it is very personal, but also I have a 17-year-old daughter. So I'm trying to do something that will give her and her generation a better world, what are we leaving behind us? If you look at it, 30 years or more actually, of total, environmental destruction.
Definitely, and people so far, I think they got the taste of your dimension, right? At what level where you come from, and what you have achieved so far in your journey, right, in your career. Give us some insights and some tips how a young entrepreneur should apply strategies on expanding his network. Like, how do you actually network?
I'll tell you, but I'll tell you about that. But just wanted to touch upon what I said before, because so people understand what we're doing. The tokenization of the gold mine in Chile, which will be the tokens will be put in the market in around 9 months from us, is done totally under the most stringent environmental parameters. All right, so ESG. The goals of the United Nations for sustainability. We're applying everything we can to have that mine exploited under the best conditions. Because when you actually mine gold, you can do a lot of damage to the environment. We are trying to do this the other way. Even if it is more expensive for us, that is what we're doing. So I just wanted you to know that the two projects we have,
it's a very important
both
aspect.
the tokenization of land and trees and the canopy on carbon credits in the Amazonas and the gold mine that we're tokenizing in Chile are both done as much as we can under strict environmental parameters. We will never be perfect. It doesn't exist, you know.
Exactly.
Perfection is the enemy of the very good, all right? So we'll be as good as we can into it and do that. Now, for young entrepreneurs,
Yes.
networking, yes, absolutely. Perhaps the one thing that I wish I had known this earlier in my life, all right, I would have done it perhaps a bit different. Networking from very early years is essential in order to build yourself a portfolio of contacts that will be helping you around during your entire life and professional career. So it starts at the university level. Perhaps someone would say it even starts at high school level, right? But bonding with the right people, and you know who the right people are, right? So bonding with the right people from that time, then going into university where you can get fantastic contacts, keeping them, maintaining them, cultivating your contacts. We are in the era of fast speed dating, I'll call it. When you meet someone, then you never hear about the person again. The person is important to you, cultivate that relationship, that friendship, etc. And then as you grow a bit older, the next area of networking is conferences. I give many conferences over the years. If people go and see my LinkedIn page, they're all listed there, so you'll understand what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to transfer knowledge. That's the reason why I'm there. But clearly, in every one of these conferences, there is going to be people that will be interested in what I'm doing, or I will be interested in what they're doing, which is building that network.
Put your face out there. Go attend events.
Absolutely.
Talk to people.
Yeah,
as
expose
much
yourself
as you
to
can.
art,
Yes.
as they say, you know.
Yeah.
If you go into my LinkedIn page, you will see a very funny joke about expose yourself to art. But expose yourself to other people that may have similar interest, and they definitely will be very useful for your life. That from the very beginning, all right? Which now we can do it because we also have the social networks, which they didn't exist when I was growing up, right?
Yeah.
So it's much easier, but face-to-face is the best.
Using social media as a tool, not as a channel of distraction.
Right.
And,
I tell you,
I mean,
Gary,
can be both, but if you are really interested in developing self-development, right?
I tell you very frankly, most people ask me, you know, do you use Instagram and X and whatever? Of course I am in those things because in a certain way you have to be there. Do I use them? No, I don't. I only use LinkedIn myself. And my LinkedIn community is over 22,000 people right now. All of them, or the majority, not all of them, the majority of them are people that, or institutions that I communicate with on a regular basis. Every morning, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning because my daughter wakes up 6 o'clock to go to school. So she wakes up everybody in the house. I love my daughter. She's a great girl, super good student, and she's doing very well in her last year of high school. But anyway, so I get up in the morning and I read every morning around 100 news. Now, it's impossible for you to read 100 news in detail, of course, but I know what I know what I'm reading.
Get the vibe.
I know what I'm reading
Yes.
because I live this So I select around 20 every morning and I put them in my LinkedIn page every morning. All right. There's no financial transaction there. I just put them every morning for people to know what is important today and what's happening. Well, I started doing this during the COVID, by the way.
Is this a sort of strategy for
No,
you?
no, it wasn't.
Sort of
I tell you what,
self-education as well?
It wasn't at all strategies. This happened to be during the COVID because people were asking me for information.
Okay.
So I started doing this in the mornings, and now I do it. And I saw my LinkedIn account growing and growing and growing. Now it's over 22,000 people that look at my stuff every day because I select news for. This goes so far that we've just created a small, tiny company together with a number of very bright students here in Dubai that they want to take this forward as a separate company, which I'm delighted. All right. So it wasn't a strategy. And it's not really a strategy today, but it is I call it a service to the community. All right. Mm-hmm. So where I really identify the most critical news every day in the digital industry, digital financial industry, and I put them there. So it's really a service to a community. There's no strategy there. It's growing on its own. But if you want to take it from the benefit side to Gustavo or his companies, that obviously a lot of people contact me and ask through my LinkedIn page, asking for, can we invest in your company? Can we do things with you? We have a project that needs financing. What do you think about this project? Can you be we do a lot of advisory in Carta Capital. Can you be our advisor in creating this project, etc.? And for the ones we like, we do.
In regards of community, how important is for you to see engagement in terms of the community behind the project? You see that this engagement is really on point. They really have like real followers, right? Like not showing you like I don't know 50,000 following and one comment or what. That's totally different. But I'm saying if you see a project which at any reason for you it makes sense, right? To pay attention, but then you see lack of community out there. How do you approach that?
That's a very good point. I'm glad you touched on that. Community today is equal to market in my previous years, right? It's very simple, really simple. When we used to have projects in the past, you say if you don't have a market, you cannot sell it, forget about it. Today, if you don't have a community, a large community behind your project, means that your project is of no interest to whoever you're trying to sell it to or actually provide the information to. Is a real good indicator of whether your project makes sense or not. So absolutely yes. I looked at what we today we call communities. In the past, we used to call this the markets. We looked at that very carefully, very carefully. We were in contact yesterday with a company that approached us that has an active 5 million people community, active daily, all right?
That's
and we
huge.
liked it.
Huge.
All right? And the main reason why we liked it, it wasn't so much because of technology. The technology they're using is similar to other technologies that I've seen, but they've been able to create an active community, which is very large.
So you have a token? Let's launch a token.
So yeah, no. They came to us and say, can Carta Capital launch a token for them? And yeah, maybe that's the case. We will see.
So a lot of weight, right?
Yeah,
The community, it's
the market. Remember the market. So again, going back to basics, if you're creating some sort of token-related project, find out who you can sell it to and to how many people you can sell it to. And the community will be your first indicator of that.
Is this point where you actually weight the marketing team of the project? Like it's a signal that gives you the perspective of the ability of the marketing team of the project, if they have a great community or not?
That's a weighted question you asked me. Try to answer it in a professional way. Listen, you can have the best project, the best coin, the most incredible market out there, and you have the most horrifying, bad marketing and sales team, all right? So do not link them together, all right? First, find out if your marketing team is good, marketing, and is doing the right thing, is using the right channels in order to provide this. You have to make that distinction because it could happen both ways, right? A bad project with an incredible sales team that cannot sell because the project is bad, so it's uninteresting, or the other way around.
Which one would you choose?
Always first is the market, all right? Because if you have the real market out there for your project, your digital asset, your token, will sell in its own. I mean, take our gold mine right now, right? There's never been a gold mine tokenized in Chile right until now. There have been other gold mines tokenized in other markets. Never one in Chile, which is one of the main mining countries in the world. That is the largest exporter of copper in the world, for instance, for many, many years, but also gold and other assets like that. Well, that asset is super sexy. We are getting calls for people that want to buy tokens from us already. We don't even have the token out. There's nothing we can sell. We're in the process of looking into the tokenization and all that. So it's a very sexy token. It will be bought It will be very
It's a
likely.
great narrative. Definitely, people
Yeah,
will.
pre-sold.
Yes.
There is a refinery which I'm not going to mention, and not even going to mention the company where it is, but it's a gold refinery that has offered to offtake all the gold we have on the ground. And we have a 43-101 report for the gold in the ground, so we know what's there. This is a Canadian report. It's very, very solid. I've used it for years as a banker, whatever. We've been already offered to take all the gold from the ground. So you ask me now, do I need a strong sales team and marketing team for that? I may not even need it, all right? Okay, that's one case scenario.
Yes, exactly.
But the middle ground of that is a reasonably sexy project with a good, strong marketing and sales team that will do good at the end of the day. That's the
Yes.
middle ground, all right?
I want people to understand, because those are the real challenges prior any investment.
Yeah.
But part of the entire, you mentioned at the beginning, the experts, this is easy because you look at the background, you see, okay, what you have done, 1, 2, 3, done. Legit, I know you are, you know the game, you know you are talking
Yeah.
about, right? But then are all these aspects, right? Like so many elements that I wanted to touch a little bit here to take
Sure.
the information from you. How do you actually scan, filter, and what's your decision? Like when you see a medium quality, let's say, utility or opportunity in terms of expertise, right? Or maybe they don't solve that much a crucial problem, yes, so la la, yes. But then they come with unbelievable execution, beautiful team behind, experts, marketers, and versus a scenario where the product is great, unbelievable, but again, the execution is poor and they don't know how to communicate that great narrative and opportunity. So it's just a simple situation when you can literally fail the investment.
Of course, of course. If you don't have the right product in the right market, it doesn't really matter what you're going to do. All right. Take the example of the paperclip. You know what a paperclip is? Thing that you used to
course,
put 2 pages together. All right. That is a very simple product invented many years ago by someone who understood that the problem was that people wanted to put pages together and there was no way of doing it. So he invented the paperclip, all right? Simple stuff, all right? But that paperclip was solving a problem, and now the entire world use a paperclip, all right? So you take that into our digital assets industry, all right? So if you have a product or a project, make sure it is solving a problem, make sure it's solving a problem, and make sure that that problem hopefully is global, all right?
Ideally.
If it's not global, then at least it's important in one of the biggest growing areas of this world, Asia, right? So that there's a specific problem to solve in Asia. Asia is growing financially, has a fantastic growing population, money is moving to Asia, etc. So if you solve a problem there, that's better than solving a problem in an area where there is no people or no money around or no needs, right?
Yes.
That's one thing. So yes, having a digital asset that solves a problem is essential. And then you touch upon the execution.
Yes.
Right? You can have the most incredible product out there that solves huge problems and it has a certain market. If you don't have the right execution team and if you don't do the right execution, you may end up in a failure. So, the actual asset solving a problem and the execution. So, 2 key things.
We can actually correlate this, the execution part, with exactly what Dubai is, right? Because here the execution is just perfect.
Listen, Dubai and the UAE in general, this country is fantastic, all right? I'll tell you how I came here, but this country is fantastic. They have a fantastic leadership with a incredibly good vision for many years now, for many, many years. I mean, in Dubai, I'll give you one simple example. What do you need for an economy to thrive, to go forward and to do great? You need infrastructure, Without infrastructure, you can have all the money in the world. If you don't have a road, you cannot move goods. Very simple as that. What these people have focused, and I'm talking mostly about Dubai. I know Abu Dhabi is great as well, but I live in Dubai, so I see this here. This government has created infrastructure, has created the most incredible infrastructure in the world, and they keep creating it. I mean, we see a road or a building going up every day here. So they have the vision. They're providing the means. They have fantastic communications. They have allowed for the city to be totally integrated. It's very much a smart city in many ways, as we know. But they also created an absolutely incredibly great airport, and not only one of them. There's several here, by the way. It's just that people only know about DXB, but there are two more, and I understand that one of them is going to be the next airport for Emirates Airlines, and I understand they're going to move there because they're growing so much. So, and a fantastic airport that communicates us globally, daily, almost on daily flights everywhere. How many places in the world you have like that? Not too many. And then they've integrated a financial community, I would say, in the DIFC, but not only in the DIFC, which is incredible, growing very fast. I think the financial industry in Dubai and also Abu Dhabi, which is quite important, is going to be one of the most important in the world. It is already one of them, but it may actually come to number one or number two in the world eventually. So they put all that together, and they gave us, people like you and myself, the opportunity to live here, to carry out business for as long as we respect the local rules. We're all fine, and yes. They're great to us. So I have the highest respect for the leaders of this country and for the people that work here, and they have attracted tremendous amount of talent. Fantastic here.
Have you noticed this part where people who come here for business opportunities to develop their companies, they are already framed with a positive mentality. Like immediately you get the vibe in a way that they are willing to help. They are willing to, let's discuss, let's talk, let's meet. It's immediately like you already take the vibe of the place in a second, instantly, right? Like it's so, very, very quickly the place absorbs you.
This is a complete business-orientated community.
Yeah.
Every time you go here to even a casual dinner with friends or whatever, you meet new people. Everybody wants to know what you do, and you want to know what they do, because there's always maybe a possibility for a business. So that happens in private meetings, in public meetings, in conferences, etc. So yes, totally business-friendly, and people, as you very well said, they want to talk to you, you want to talk to them, and often I go to these places and come up with a very interesting business contact, etc. So it's done that way. And you're right, people that come here come already with that mind frame as an incredible business place, global business place. But the one thing I want to tell you about that is the way I see Dubai is a huge entrepreneurship community. That's how I see Dubai. Right.
We had here Yatsu from Animoca, and he said to him, Dubai is a metaverse.
Yeah, why not?
Which I love it.
Yeah,
it's
why not?
exactly what
but
it is.
Just add an entrepreneurship metaverse.
Yeah,
an entrepreneur's metaverse, right?
The business part in Dubai is
here you have a good idea that makes sense, something that will solve a global problem, and you can find the right partners, and you can find the financing, and off you go. There you go. There you have your global product. Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Just create and build, and they are here for you.
You know what this place reminds me of? Many years ago, when I was doing my universities in the US, I lived for a little while in New York. A short period of time, but I lived there for a while. And I remember that in New York at the time, which is no longer the case, by the way, unfortunately, it was like that. Everywhere you went to, everybody wanted to do business with you, and you will be exchanging cards or whatever. That's calmed down itself for various other reasons. This place is like New York at the time when I was there, just totally. Or Hong Kong. Hong Kong was that way as well. Also, it's changed a bit. I think the last man standing is Dubai right now.
We will see what Dubai is is going to offer us in the future. I'm sure we'll see great things here.
Only good things.
Yes.
Dubai will only offer us good things.
I just want to thank you so much for your presence today at ICN Talks. Obviously, we have a lot of things to ask you more, but we'll keep it for the next time. Yes. So you mentioned your LinkedIn. People can find you there, Gustavo Montero,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. So Danny,
if
thank you
want to
very
add
much
something, yes.
for this great invitation. Of course, we only had a small hour to speak. The subjects are major. Happy to come back here anytime to explain current issues or problems or opportunities. Effectively, the best way to contact me is my LinkedIn page, which is Gustavo A. Montero, but I think you're going to write it
Yes, of course.
down in this
People will
interview.
find.
They will be there. That contact me via, and 99% of the time I come back to the people that contact me, because I think everybody deserves some time from people that have the level of experience that I have accumulated over the years.
Beautiful.
And great. Thank you very
That's
much. Anytime.
Thank you very much, Gustavo. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Drop me a comment below. Tell me how we did it, if you like it. If you have questions, we are going to answer all of them. Don't forget to subscribe if you consider. You can find us all on all major social media accounts, platforms as Iron Capital News. You can stay on top of the curve with all the articles and what's happening in our industry, icnnews.xyz, the Web3 news platform, brand new for you to stay updated with the latest news. Thank you again so much for watching, and see you on the next one.